this time around I'm just gonna put on some linkages, just finalize some stuff. So you got this one that goes back on to put the choke together. So we'll just do that one. And usually I have to end up looking at this thing once or twice to remember how it goes on here. If I don't go back, actually, you put it on one direction, it just won't work. So, that'll be it right there. Put your screw in. That'll get tightened. Okay, now we're going to put the accelerator linkage back on, which is, I saw him there. Where is he? There. Okay. Now this one just goes on here. It's got like a little locating tab that you can, where it only goes back in this one way. You can see this. I'm not going to do really close. It slips in and then comes back up here. Now I'm going to go ahead and, I know where this one was. It was on the outside, but I'm just going to show you. See if I can find the carburetor on here. Dodge Truck 85A6. Float height on this one was supposed to be 13/32, and it goes in the outer pump rod location. There's my carburetor number right there, 1986, 17086425. There are people, you know, there are people actually believe that Dodge never had a Quadrajet on them, but they actually, yes they did. So don't let anybody tell you differently. But it was not very long, 85, 86, and maybe into 87. So just put it in your outer location, slip it back on, and this is kind of a one of these little pain to do here, but you just got to kind of position this where you think it's, the roll pin will slip through, and start working on this. There it is. Okay, let's go ahead and put in our idle mixture screws. Clean these up. Just go in here, and I have my little tool here that takes care of that for me. So it's a neat little thing. You can't find these very often anymore. It's got these little bits in it. And I think, let me see here, might be this one. Not either. There we go. This is it right here. So you just do it by hand. You don't have to use that thing just to run them in. And what you do is run them in until they lightly seat, and then go 2.5 turns out. 1/2, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5. That ought to get it running. And then same for this one. Oh, if I didn't pick up the wrong one after all there. There we go. Yeah. Okay, seated. 1/2. One, 1.5, 2, and 2.5. You can see, guys, it takes a while to overhaul one of these, but it's not hard. It really isn't. I don't know why these, like I said, they've scared so many people. They're nothing to them. I think they're a lot easier than some carburetors. Let's put that back together. Get that out of the way. Now we need to deal with this fuel filter. Now here's your fuel filter spring, and I'm not going to put a fuel filter back in this because I've already got an external fuel filter. So if you have an external fuel filter already, if you got a Dodge or you just run an external one, you don't have to put this back in. You don't have to put a filter back in it. You just leave it empty. But if you have one that uses a filter, you're for sure that it's got to have one in there. Just go ahead and use it. So I'm going to peel off this little nylon gasket, the old one, and your kit's got one in it. I just saw that over here. Now, the mark of any good mechanic is having to look through and find things again. Where did I say? There you are, right there. And there it is. All you do is just make sure there's no gunk under there and slip it on. Just gotta work it around here. Try not to mess it up. Use your fingernail, whatever it takes to get it. Put it on there. Pops right on. And just carefully start threading this back on. Make sure you have it threaded on the right way. Don't cross thread it. Now, you see, you don't have to tighten the heebie-jeebie out of this thing, because that nylon is your gasket sealer. Just a little scrunch will do it. There we go. Okay, well, that's going to kind of finish up this for the most part, but I still have to put the choke in and adjust it, which I'll show you. I got to spend some time on that. And I'm going to do a separate video for that, of course, because I've got to. What I'm going to do is that rear vacuum brake on this one was bad, and this one wasn't, but it's got a couple pieces of linkage. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to I may put a front vacuum brake on this, and it really doesn't make any difference at all which one you want to use to do that. Now this one I know didn't have one originally, because usually when they have a front vacuum brake, they'll have a T right here. This little tube will be a T, so I'll have to put a T junction in there if I do use that. Now if I have one that's like this already in my junk pile, I just use it, but I don't think I do, because these things are kind of rare. They're about $40 for one, and I'd rather, what I may do is I've got all the linkages. I may just put 2 vacuum brakes on it. I may just use the front vacuum brake and just use it alone. But we'll see. But I want to get that staged up so I can just go run through and tell you what I'm doing instead of having to, you know, have you guys sit through a boring part of the video while I'm sitting here trying to figure things out. So, but we'll do that for sure soon. In the meantime, I have an invitation to go eat dinner, so I'm going to get cleaned up, and we're supposed to have some rain today, and it ain't got here yet. I have a feeling it's going to get here. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching so far. I know these are kind of tedious videos to look through, but maybe it will just kind of give you a reference to look at. And these carburetors, really, like I said, to me, they're easy as anything to rebuild. They're just not hard to rebuild to me. You know, if you can get past these few little things that you have to do, putting them together, you know, like getting everything kind of positioned, you know, and make sure everything's working. You know, sliding in and out or screwing down or whatever it's got to do, you know, make sure it's doing it, not hung up. It's a little tedious, but you'll get it. Don't be afraid to try it. Now this, I noticed, the spring's okay on this, but this shaft, even though it's been soaked and cleaned, it's still a little bit gummy. See how it's staying open? So it's not, I can tell it's just got, this carburetor, like I said, I've mentioned this more than once, this carburetor was really oily and gunky inside. It looked like that engine that was in that van was probably getting worn out. So, and this thing never opened up anymore. So I'll be soaking this maybe a little bit further and making sure that it closes on its own. So, see you guys in another video. We'll get back on this and do the choke and the linkages and things and do it to it. Have a good one.